Hi all, welcome to this Potential Guaranteed Flashback SBC. This could be a player pick, like where you get 5 options, or 3, whatever, or it could just be a pack like we had for the Team of the Season moments and moments cards in general, like the player moments we had last night. So we can especially explore some sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GSLegend. All links are down below for posting the channel, and social media links as always. Comment down below what your thoughts on this, folks. I tweeted this out earlier as well, so I'll put the tweet in the description as well, just so you know where we're at. Now, in terms of the flashback cards, there is such a wide variety, the very lowest being an 85 Walcott to a highest 96 rated Modric. So you've got a lot of kind of individual players. Now, prices varied quite drastically on some of the players like Coleman, Coleman, Long and McGeady. They were like 80 to 100k if memory roughly serves right. And then you've got players like Tarap who are like 35k, and you had like Balotelli, Paulinho who were like 200, and then obviously you've got the premium ones where you've got like Modric, Mertens, Cyprian, Ogbonna, Vidal, Militao, Marcus Alonso, where they're still in the game, they're still there to do, and they are varying prices and varying requirements. So you've kind of got to then see yourself, obviously the standard ones where it was like Mertens, Modric, Militao, Alonso. Like, yes, you had some of those, Allen, some of those basic like the standard options before the premium, and the prices were so fluctuated anyway that it made it, for some players it looked like appealing and some were not. So it becomes difficult to say if they were to do an SBC what ones are really worth doing, because there's quite a few of these cards that a lot of people will not want. Like, I know some people, I've seen some people, obviously like Marcel for example, it's just annoying he's not say 92, 93 rated that he should have been, and then potentially that type of, like if his SBC was a premium, not how it was done initially, then it could be in a different kettle of fish. Because for me, fundamentally, when I look at a lot of these SBCs, like Fabio, Raphael, S-Fine and Gervinho, they were player picks, and like S-Fine, Gervinho were like 50k, Raphael, Fabio was like 150. The problem is there's so much fluctuation that some of these cards are worth going for and some just aren't. And also at the same point is that some of these cards at this stage of FIFA, there's miles better cards for much cheaper prices, and even when these initially dropped, quite a lot of them were overpriced. But some people were quite keen on some. Like for me, I was quite keen on Neuer, but he was at the time didn't fit, and it was a bit overpriced for my budget. Well, you had like Iniesta, who was a objective card, so it makes for interesting viewing. Like pretty much most of these have been objectives. As I said, only Iniesta's, the only one if memory serves right, was the only SB objective card. And then obviously everything else was like player picks. Obviously Cardoza is obtainable through Cannonball, but I would say if they were to do this as an SBC, probably looking 82 to 84 rated. I'd imagine 84, 83, 84 is most likely. Then if it was 84, I would imagine they might do a TOTS, Team of the Week moments. Like, we'd all still have one in our club anyway, and it's not exactly hard if you've got like one that's like 90 rated sitting there doing nothing, and you're like, oh, I can go like an 82 rated squad near enough with this team, and it's generally not too bad then if you've got like 82s, 83s, 84s just sitting doing nothing, and you can work out a fairly straightforward route. Like, fundamentally, if it was 84 and it's like 70k, if it was basically priced the same as the Moments SBC, when you break it down like that, you would see your ones that are worth trying to hope for are like Modric, Mertens, Witsel, Neuer, Rooney, Cyprian, Allen, David Luiz, Vidal, Militao, the premium version of Alonso, maybe Fuchs possibly. Then you're maybe looking at Marcelo, Paulinho, Ogbonna. But there's quite a wide variety of like players that were in that 50, like that should have really been like 50, 60k, that weren't. And like, to be honest, Cardoza is easy enough to obtain. even now at this stage of FIFA. But like Biani was like 150k when realistically should have been probably like half the price, maybe even like 40-50k. There's so many of these players that when you kind of break it down, you say to yourself, it's like who's worth it? And it's almost like everyone on the left hand side is nearly what you would hope for that you could get. Like you'd be quite happy with generally, maybe except for like Diego Costa, Diaz, maybe Cardozo, maybe Fabregas. Like the big issue is that you've then got to factor in the cards like Hulk, Paulinho, then try to remember who else is on either side that springs to me. Hummels. These guys have got like team of the season cards, so you're fundamentally saying to yourself, do I really want this card or do I want the team of the season one? And then it becomes a little bit more trickier to work with, because like Flashback Paulinho's decent, but it's his team of the season is what you really, really want. It's kind of like, but I would say if the Moments SBC is anything to go by, if memory serves right, I'm sure we got this last year, and because I remember, I think it was a pick. I'm sure it was like a player pick, and I'm sure it was David Villa was like the one that I took at the time, because I'm sure I'd either done him or hadn't done him, and I was like, oh, that's one I want. So you may get the same again this year, and if it's 5 players that you could get the pick of, I would then say the 5 that I would hope for would be Neuer, Witsel, Rooney, and maybe where would I go? Would I go like maybe Fuchs, maybe or Alonso? It's hard to quite honestly say. It's trying to think at this stage of FIFA. It's like either who fits the club, who makes good fodder, or could they just fit in somewhere in general. Like Neuer would be who I'd quite like just for an alternative goalkeeper, because De Gea lets me down from time to time, and other goalies I've had just don't kind of cut it. But because Modric and Mertens are in my club, I've already got them. I've been through Iniesta, Cyprian I've got still in the club, Alan I've had since put him into other SBCs, David Luiz still sits in the team, Militau's in the team. But there's not been many of these like flashbacks that I've done. Like Balotelli and Paulinho were in for an extended period, and they both served me well. But most of these, I think a lot of people will be like, I don't really want them. Like Fabio and Raphael, I was quite keen for Fabio, but with like Alexandre, one of our left backs, it kind of became nullified pretty quickly. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, folks. As I say, there's about 57 cards in total. Remember, if they do any other flashback SBCs, potentially because of like the Euro still going on, and it would have technically been going on, I should say, sorry, they may do some of those players like Zaglev, Blashikovsky, they're kind of the two that kind of spring to mind initially, like just for alternative options out with like the bigger teams, as bigger nations and players. But you would see what would happen. It would be interesting to see how they put it together, like because there's a lot to go by. That's kind of what you've got to understand, and there's more here than what's in obviously the team of the season. Like I think it's team of the season moments and like the player moments. I think there's more flashback cards in total compared to that, but regardless, there's still usable cards in this. But we'll see what happens, folks. As I said, if we see anything in the code in due course, this could be like with how the moments one is went as well. This could be like the Sunday SBC potentially. So this could be this Sunday, for example, or whenever. But we'll see what happens, of course. So let me know in the comments down below. Does any of these flashback cards appeal to you in any shape or form? Does any of them, if you were to get them for 60k compared to 500 or say 600k for some of the bigger ones, would you be delighted, or would you just kind of not really care regardless? If it's like an 83, 84 rate squad and you've basically got untradeable sitting there doing nothing, would you do it? Or would you just pass regardless? But as I say, folks, let me know. Hopefully you find this useful. Smash likes always, sub to channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, G the Legend, and I will catch you all later.